notice here he's holstered his weapon so he has an increased run speed. You don't need to holster your weapon to do advanced movements anymore. You can still climb ladders, do zip lines, use pipes without holstering your weapon, but there is still advantage to holstering because you get that increased boost to your run speed, you get around the map more fluidly. Feels really good.
How severe are the differences then? You say holstered versus a pistol. What about something like a shotgun to an AR? Are those the varying degrees of those run speeds based on what you're holding?
No, right now it's not based on what you're holding. It's just pretty much between two states. That is something that we're not necessarily against.
Whoa.
We just, that's an awesome revolver kill. The thing we just wanted to test is just get, again, player the decision making from, do you want to be more about mobility at the expense of offensive capabilities, or do you want to be less mobile with more offensive capabilities? So that's some good proximity chat there, but that is something that we're also excited about as well.
The Gotham Bros have been doing really well in these first two maps, but
yeah, one thing that I don't think is obvious to people is, like, if you notice in the backpack inventory space, it's not based on stashes anymore. It's purely weight based.
Okay.
So, for example, you know, there's no harm in picking up all those variant ID tags because they don't weigh hardly anything, right?
Yeah.
But picking up weapons is going to add significant weight to your backpack.
Yeah, sniper rifle weighs a ton in comparative to, say, a pistol.
And that's also why you want to make sure you're upgrading that backpack any chance you get.
Yeah, it's not just a run, grab everything with no regard for what it is and go.
And also what you pick up first, because I've seen a lot of guys looting right now, and they'll try to grab all the weapons, but they don't have the space, and they're leaving a large backpack in that guy's, right? So if you equip the large backpack first, your inventory will instantly expand, and then you can grab all those other weapons.
Karma getting some nice shots in here to the right. I'm not sure who exactly on, but
yeah, that DMR is
it fires fast. You think it's fully automatic the way how fast it can fire, but it's a semi-automatic weapon.
Maybe shouldn't have chased that down. Did not pay off. But you said you get 2 sim chances, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, something else just to chime in on what we're seeing here is that, you know, again, this game is it's going to be free to play when it fully releases. And that being said, you look at what we see on screen is that this is just early development. This is pre-alpha access. Everything you see visually, the art team went through and put things in there to just facilitate the game design, the level design, the feel of it. We are so early. This is not even close to what we feel is going to be the bar of visual fidelity that we're going for. And again, that's what's exciting for us is just what we've been able to accomplish, how far we've come since Snapshot 1, which was just 8 months ago, to where we are now today, to have the full gameplay loop. And there's just, the team is super excited and chomping at the bit to go all in on the art style, to go all in on more of the gameplay features, to level up the gameplay features. So this is just to remind everyone at home, is like what you're seeing here is not nearly close to what we're trying to achieve from a visual art point.
When you talk about visual art, there was something I saw when you guys were introducing the tower key, which was the cosmetics for some of the guns. I believe it's called the Deep Freeze Collection.
Deep Freeze Collection, yep.
So I love anything like that, those unique cosmetics. It's just another way to help yourself stand out in the environment. Scum is able to take down another victim. But for anyone who might just be tuning in now, they're here for the gameplay, they want to see it. Can you guys perhaps remind them on the tower key that's been announced today?
Yeah, so up till this point, we've had 10,000 variants have been the only one who have been able to play the game. To get early access to those builds, to have the ability to give feedback on the game. And that was with 400,000 people who applied to be founders. 400,000. Only 10,000 of them were selected. Most of them are in this room today, right? And what we are doing now is we are opening it up, not to more variants, but to more claws. So they won't have a visor cortex, but what they will have is the ability to play the game, get in here, see what we're doing, give feedback on it. Because what you see, especially when Doc streams the game, is you see a lot of people who are not founders commenting, right? They're like, what's this? How do I play this? How do I? And now this is the chance to get in there, play the game, be in alongside the variants, and also hunt them down for the variant IDs.
So I think we just saw on screen here with Hitch, there is that chopper extract. The zip lines are available as well. Did someone, that's coming into the platform? Yeah, and it looks like Hitch, I don't know if he wants to head over there, but maybe made a friend. Made a friend.
Yep.
I don't know how long this alliance is going to last, but
well,
it does
not long since only one person can take that chopper.
I don't know if they know that.
Yeah, that's the difference from the maglock gate. The chopper is first come, first serve.
This might be a heartbreak here in a minute.
Oh,
no.
See ya. Oh, no, he got it too.
He got in.
Wait, he got in?
Yeah, nice. See,
there you go.
That's live in development. That's something that, again, we're trying to get that fixed and figured out, and we're okay with that.
Ah, so they were able to cheese it a little bit.
We are 100% okay with it.
Once it leaves that helipad, it's gone.
Yeah.
But the fact that he grabbed the door before it took off, it put him in.
Yeah.
But maybe a tactical approach, right? Because now when we get into map 3, you have all that loot. You might be in a little better position if you didn't think you could get to that dead drop here.
Right.
Yes.
And we love, like some developers, they might see some of the stuff and they'll cringe. But us is like, yeah, you know what? By design, we didn't want that to happen. Well, players like dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, they find a way. And they just right there found a way to get 2 people on a chopper. And now that opens the discourse between us and the players on what do they think about that. Do they like that? Is that something we integrate? Is that something they don't like and they want us to be more true to the design? This is all the what comes with the territory of open development, and we are all for it.
Rob, would you say are there any guns that you find the hardest to get used to, kind of the most difficult to master in the game so far? I mean, easy answer might be the sniper, I'm not sure, but something that might show to other people that skill threshold you have to be hitting those shots.
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about the DMR internally. He has one now. It's a super powerful weapon. If you
Doc
know
said
how to
my DMR now, thank you.
And he's deadly with it. But that one to me has like that big skill gap. It's super effective with the right attachments. If you've modded it and you use it effectively, you put that same DMR in my hands, I'm not pulling the same numbers.
Bonsai again. Seems to be kind of the area that we've seen them in consistently, maybe a comfort zone, especially when you're not as familiar with a map.
He's showing off that deep freeze collection too.
Yeah, and he's got that massive optic on the rifle. And for us, we're like, you know what? We're letting people experiment and put all the attachments on. And again, we're all for that. We're okay with it. And then we're going to see what players think. Is that lame? Is that too much of an advantage? You could even put big giant optics on the revolver, big hand cannon type of gun. It might look ridiculous to some, but again, we're trying it out.
Well, and how often have you seen from the variants, maybe from what you're going to see out of Bobby Poff and others today, these players utilizing combinations in the game or gameplay styles that you weren't necessarily expecting, but you're just watching these players evolve it in real time?
I don't know. What do you think about that, Rob?
Well, I mean, that is why I've been excited to watch people outside the dev team play, right? Because we play a certain way. Either it's our personal play style or we're playing because, like, oh, we know we just added a feature and we're trying to see what that feels like. But watching people play competitively, trying to win, trying to get a lot of kills, it exposes a lot of different design tweaks and things that maybe we didn't expect to see.
Well, it looks like Doc able to take out American Dad and holding this power position here by the final extraction point, but a ton of time. I mean, close to 5 minutes left.
He's sitting at 7 HP, so that's not exactly good.
Yeah.
Not ideal, to be sure. Nope. Especially if you don't have bandages, hoping to maybe loot them from someone instead.
Yeah, there's no lifelings up at the top of the tower, so he's going to have to make his way down if he wants to heal. Knowing him, he never chooses to. He's going to try to fight this.
This is going to be the last stand. If there's not bandages here, then it's 7 HP till the end.
No bandages in that one. Oh, it goes for that sniper rifle, though. So Lupo's over here at top of on the control center.
And there was one of those heal stations.
Yes.
Yep,
You
yeah,
just
a
mentioned
life
to the
link,
left.
God damn it, Krim!
There we go. See, that's the beauty of proximity check.
Just getting the fucking...
Oh, landing some shots.
Whoa.
Nice shots.
Oh.
But unfortunately, in a pinch situation, someone behind him as well. Dr. Lupo potentially in a bit of trouble.
Throws out a smoke grenade.
So you can roll it or you can ADS and throw it. So he obviously just deployed it, which just rolls it at your feet. But if he would have ADS, he would have got a much further arc on it.
Oh, looks like you got him. Oh, yeah, there's some comics too.
Yeah, quite a few.
Good ones. That's the newest comic, number 16.
Taking some variant identity tags.
Get some of those much needed bandages as well.
Yeah, those are some of the most important items in the game, being able to heal on the fly. So we found in our playtest that the bandages are one of the just most crucial items that like you want to always grab. And since they don't weigh a lot, you want to just grab them.
What is the heal amount for those?
20, I believe. 20 HP. But it heals pretty quick. It's not a crazy
Very
long,
quick animation.
Yeah, it's not a long, like, you know, sometimes we call it like, hey, you got to do your chores in some of these games, you got to heal. It's a pretty quick.
Krem flying at Bobby Poff, able to take some of that loot as we swing over to Fab TV. 10 players, 7 eliminations for ZLANER so far. I wonder if Doc is doing all right, considering this was kind of the same place he was in. Didn't have any bandages.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people here. You could see from ZLANER's screen he's playing as a Sin because there's a little bit of a red scan line effect on the screen. It's subtle. We're something we're toying with. Again, we're doing just early iterations on the Sin gameplay and what that means, and we're just trying to make it so that it does stand out a bit. When you're playing as a player, we want you to feel like you're now changing and you're playing as something else. It's not just your same old player. So that's why some of the stuff we're seeing there with the visuals, the scan lines, all that kind of stuff.
So if you dead drop as a Sin, say you're able to make it all the way to the end, are you getting all of your loot back by default by dead dropping, or do you still you had to find the bag, you had to loot it back?
Find your bag, yeah.
Okay.
He's in the freeze.
Oh, and that hurts. Look at the way that takes. It does
Rest-
not mess around,
rest in
and
pieces.
you will be waiting for map 3. That's tough. I mean, I experienced that too. I tested it out. I was curious to see how much does the Rising Freeze actually hurt.
Yeah.
You do not have very many play opportunities there.
And you can see it down below taking up the map.
Creeping its way
by
upward.
Love shot. Oh, the turnaround.
Oh, Bobby Poff.
Yeah, I love those shots when you're up high and you look down and you see the freeze just taking over the entire map. It's something that we're really trying to set out, and we're definitely not done. But one of the main goals is that not only that it will mess you up and be damaging, but visually we want it to be menacing. We want it to look scary so the players don't think it's something that they don't need to worry about. We want it to look menacing.
ZLANER.
So that guy flanked around, but if you notice on the edge there was a railing he could have jumped out and grabbed.
Yeah.
And shimmied his way around there.
But those railings maybe not as obvious necessarily
No.
for some of these players. Maybe something you find and you go, oh,
Yeah.
now I know this. Now I have that moment, that leg up. But ZLANER, now more eliminations than there are players remaining on the map with 3 seconds to the final phase. Has shots onto someone up top. That'll be Crypto Stash. We'll be able to get, has a nice little, I was going to say, how's this going to play out? Did have a nice little position, but if American Dad's going to swing around the corner, there's not a lot you can do about that third-party play as we have a minute 45 here in map 2. Maybe a quick looting opportunity. ZLANER still in a good position, but barely any health at just 6. And by the lack of healing that we're seeing, maybe not any bandages. And this is going to be tough. You spot one, doesn't actually go in
There's a cover.
for the trade. Play a little ring around the rosy, figure out exactly where this person is, and won't fight for your life if Z can get out of this. That is going to be extremely impressive. And American Dad, 6 HP for ZLANER. Doesn't need any more than that. Thank you very much. We'll head to that extraction with 3 remaining and almost double-digit eliminations.
Super Lift is only going to be there for another minute, so
Put on that helmet.
that's going to be an eternity, that minute.
This makes me nervous when they take this long to loot.
If you click and hold on helmets and armor, it'll auto-equip to your armor slot.
So this is the final 1v1 situation right here.
The 1v1. Travis with some initial shots, not able to connect.
75 HP versus 6 last we saw.
35 seconds on the clock. Getting some good shots, but not able to get it done in ZLANER. It doesn't matter. 6 HP, full HP. He'll take you down anyway. Double-digit eliminations and the dead drop to call it done. ZLANER, stand up. You earned that win.